Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those who are wanting to really rock their lives and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. I am not a fan of keto and intermittent fasting. I'm just not. And I know some of you are standing there going like, what, Jen, how can you not? Like, keto's been so good for me, or intermittent fasting's been so good for me. Why don't you like it? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So first off, let's break it down. I'm going to talk a bit about keto, then I'm going to talk a bit about intermittent fasting. So what's keto? Well, keto is kind of like the new fad, updated version of the old Atkins diet from the 80s. That's it. So it's kind of like really super low carb and really high fat. That's it. It's same, but different. So the idea is that you replace your main carbs with fat. Now, when you do that, when you drop the carbs that much, it helps to put your body into what's called ketosis, which is a metabolic state, which is all about telling the body to produce ketone bodies out of fat and burn them up for energy instead of carbs. Now, it's become a fad in the last few years, like a real fad, the same as Atkins did back in the 80s and 90s, but it's become a fad because on it, you do have the ability, depending on your body, to lose weight. The challenge is it's not sustainable and it's not in a balanced way. A true ketogenic diet is actually different in that 90% of the diet is of the day's calories is coming from fats. That's it. But the thing is, it's actually used to help little kids who've got really bad epileptic seizures, and it's used to reduce the frequency. It has a medical place. It has a medical place. The challenge is people are using it like just for weight loss. There's lots of short-term studies out there which are showing that from a weight loss point of view, the results are not all good and the results are not sustainable. Now, what we see as kind of a side contraindication, it's not a side benefit. The side benefit, for some people is weight loss. However, what we see, there's a rise in mood swings, there's a rise in depression, there's a rise in that mental kind of confusion and an absolute lack of energy and motivation. And they're the same symptoms that we saw with people on the Atkins diet back in the 80s and 90s. Now, we need carbs in our body. We need carbs on a daily basis, but we need good carbs. If not, it starts messing with our brain. Why? Because carbs are absolutely critical for the production of our happy hormone, serotonin. It's really important. So we find people who are on that classic kind of keto diet, tired and cranky consistently, and it's not sustainable. And it puts huge pressure and stress on body systems like organs. So for me as a naturopath, the detrimental effects of a keto diet go nowhere near balancing out what is seen to be benefits in the average person who's wanting to do it for weight loss. So then the other one is intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting has become bloody trendy, just like keto has. Now, as a naturopath, we absolutely endorse supported fasting. It's one of our naturopathic kind of principles. Now, in supported fasting, we use it as naturopaths to really help support all overall kind of health and wellness. And it's been shown to really help with, to help our metabolism, to help our heart, to help our immune system, just to help our brain health, all of our body system. It really is seen to be able to help with longevity of life as well. So it is a real principle and we love it as naturopaths, but we do it supported fasting, which is really different to the kind of intermittent fasting people are doing. The intermittent fasting that people are doing is this time restricted kind of feeding, and it's calorie deprivation. Not cool. So the most popular kind of ways, the first one is 16 and 8. So on the 16 and 8, it's like you'll fast for 16 hours a day and then you'll eat in 8 hours a day. Now, with that, say, what time is it right now? It is 1 p.m. So this would be, I would be in my normal eating time. Say I was going to stop eating at 6 p.m. tonight, add on 16, and that would mean I would fast from 6 p.m. tonight to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then I would eat for 8 hours, and then I would fast, and then I would eat. And during that time, most people will consume 2 meals. Now, in their regular lifestyle, they're having, 3 meals and maybe 2 snacks. So they'll have 2 meals. But what research is showing is that when they're doing that, because with our body, as soon as we're told we can't have something, we crave it. And even if it's just a meal in general. So what we're seeing is the incidence of binge eating going through the roof. That in that, those 2 meals a day, or one of those 2 meals, people are having bigger, higher calorie meals that are absolutely negating the benefits of intermittent fasting, just fasting for 16 hours. It's real. Now, another way is what's called whole day fasting. Now, this is a way that naturopaths generally do it, but again, we do it supported. So in this way, this is where people will just not eat anything for a day, or they'll limit their eating to about 300 to 500 calories on that fasting day. But it's not supported, and the body is under stress. When our body's under stress, cortisol levels go up and the body just goes, what? And you're in trouble. So the other ones, things like 5 and 2, that's where people will just have a regular lifestyle 5 days a week, and 2 days a week, they'll have that 300 to 500 calories. Again, when we're told we can't have it, our body craves it. And it's showing people like, life. Oh, I'm gonna intermittent fast. And then they binge eat. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable. We've got to be able to have the body to deal with the day-to-day kind of life as we're adding a benefit. The other kind of way that intermittent fasting is being seen or showing up at the moment is every other day. Like, really seriously, guys, that's where you eat a regular day's food today, and then tomorrow you'll have 500 calories. And then the next day you'll have regular food and then 500 calories. And again, it's still a calorie deprivation program, and you are stressing your body big time. And like I say, there are so many clinical studies showing a real rise in binge eating. Now, as a naturopath, and I've talked about it on previous podcasts, we say there's this alkaline corridor, and you want to be in there the majority of the day, because that's when your body's working properly for you. Now, you're in. What happens in life, we're kicked out. And what I care about as a naturopath is how quick you bounce back in. When people are just doing keto or intermittent fasting, they're out of the corridor, and the cortisol levels go up because the body is under stress, physically and emotionally. Emotionally, because people are doing that, it's deprivation, and their brain's going, oh, I just want to eat something. And it's not cool. So as a naturopath, we want to have you in the majority of the time. So when we do what we call supported intermittent fasting, and I've been doing it for 30 odd years as a naturopath, that's it. Your body's in the corridor. That's the difference. It's not calorie deprivation. So on a supported cleanse day, intermittent fasting day, we support the body with herbs. One, we will use herbs that help to support the body's natural detoxifying systems. Now, you can't make the body detox. You can use, diuretics and laxatives and all that shit, and that's not cool. Again, that stresses the body. But on what we would see as a naturopath, what we would see as a supported fast or a supported cleanse, we're giving you herbs to support your natural detoxifying body systems so they can work properly. That's it. But we pair them with adaptogen herbs. Now, I've talked about adaptogen herbs in probably half a dozen of these podcasts so far because they're so important. If we can have your body adapting to the stress, that's huge. And then the other thing we do, we absolutely will prescribe some kind of little snack to balance blood sugar levels, or we can do that within the herbal tonics that we prescribe. So it's real. We've got to be able to have our body adapt to stress as we support it to mobilize impurities, mobilize toxins, and rest the body systems. So your digestive system needs to rest, absolutely. But we want to do it in a way that it's not stressed doing it, so that it stays in that alkaline corridor. That's it. It's big, guys, and they're fads. And, fads are a thing. They come, they go, they kind of do all their damage, and then people have to pick up the pieces. I'm not a fan. I'm really not. I am leaving you with 2 healthy life hacks today. One is, if you are doing keto or intermittent fasting that you've Googled and, hey, it looks good and you're off and going, or it's being prescribed by some kind of expert, excellent. have a real chat to yourself. Really ask yourself, how's my mental state? How am I dealing with stress? How is my energy? How is my focus? How are my moods and emotions? Really take a health assessment. It's important, okay? Because keto and intermittent fasting done from calorie deprivation is not sustainable, and I care about you. Healthy life hack number 2 is to check out some supported fasting. So supported intermittent fasting is all about using herbs to be able to do it. So whether you bring in something like some adaptogen herbs would be a place to start. Go back to some of my old podcasts to check them out. If you want to check out the herbs I use and the program I use, just check out the link in the show notes. That's it. So where do you find the show notes? Go to www.healthylifehacks.com.au. And next episode, tune in, because I'm going to be talking about the difference between fear and excitement and how they physically show up in your body. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review where you're listening in from. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. If you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below and join my newsletter, and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.